I will ruin this aspect because you asked me for better. I will take that and I will ruin this before I let you destroy yourself. And that's why these things had to die. That's why these things had to be destroyed, because at the end of the day, it is you that I love. It is you that I care about. And because you have good intentions, I'm going to take care of you. But first, I must destroy this. Divine greetings and gratitude, family. Welcome back to our sacred space. I'm super excited to be back on here on our YouTube channel so that we can connect and talk and just kind of vibe out before we end the night. And before we get into the video, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all of you who reserved your ethereal essentials or your Saiyonan essentials, and they were shipped out as of, I believe it was yesterday. They were shipped out, and I'm super excited and I'm glad that you reserved, and I'm also hoping that they arrive in the best condition. I set my prayers, I set my intentions to ensure that they arrive perfectly intact, exactly how I had it. So y'all should be receiving those soon. If you are in the East Coast, I'm expecting that you may get those by Saturn day. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see. No, wait, today. Yeah, maybe Saturday the latest. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'm hoping that y'all get your stuff soon. Also, I wanted to say really quickly here that I'm noticing that the #1 oil that y'all have been reserving is the Dominance oil. And I am so glad to see it. Okay, let's take a look at that there. Look at this Dominance oil. Isn't it so amazing? You know that the brown you see is not the color of the bottle. It's the color of the oil. Like, this is the color of the oil. Isn't that so amazing? This Dominance oil, this Dominance power oil is so different. It's so potent. But the reason why it is because I allowed this process took well over 8 weeks. Because I'm extra and I like to ensure that the oils that you get from me are potent and that they are infused with all of the best oils, resins, herbs, flowers. I'm glad to see that y'all are out here dominating the game, that y'all are dominating the field, right? Your lives or certain areas of your lives. And, you know, maybe people, if you know, you vibe with that energy safely, of course, and also responsibly. And also, I just want to say this really quickly here, that if you are reserving anything from the ETHERIUM, please ensure that you are using these with the utmost integrity, and that we are not doing anything to be baneful for the purpose of just simply being baneful. I am all about you protecting yourself and reversing things and sending things to people who harm you and things of that nature. But please make sure that you have the utmost respect, reverence, and integrity when you are utilizing these ritual tools. They are tools to help you manifest. They are tools to help you enhance the overall quality, the spiritual quality and essence of your life. Okay. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and take a moment here to just talk to you. And the reason why is because there's been a lot of things that I noticed that we have been feeling as a collective. And I know that we're all in a space where we're really just trying to figure these things out. But one of the things that I want to say right now is that I feel like some of y'all are in a space where there are so many things that are breaking down, being demolished, being torn, that are just simply being uprooted. And the process may feel very tumultuous. The process of these things ending, these very painful endings, whether it be relationships, whether it be a job, or whether it be you just completely uprooting things that you had lying dormant within yourself that kept you stuck and stagnant and anchored into a specific place in your life that prevented you from moving forward, which really it's ourselves. However, there may have been certain blockages that we had, that the collective may have. And what Spirit is saying is that these things that are being uprooted, even though it may feel painful, even though it may feel tumultuous, these things needed to be uprooted. And the reason is because the very things that were lying dormant and stagnant were the very things that needed to be broken up. I feel like these were the blockages that people had in their lives that were preventing them from moving forward. And I do feel like there are so many things that are happening in our relationships, that is happening out in the world, whether it be a relationship with a partner, a friend, or whether it be with a cousin, whoever it may be, with yourself. There's so many things right now that are happening. There's so many things that we feel are falling away from us as we try to not only pivot, but as we try to solve this really intense equation. It's like the universe is trying to figure itself out, or it figured itself out and it's trying to align. The divine feminine is definitely on the rise, whether that be the divine feminine be with you if you're a man, or a woman, or if you are non-binary, or no matter how you identify, the divine feminine is constantly raising, and we are bringing our attention more into that space. And with that does come lots of destruction, and it's the destruction of the mindsets, the ideologies, the habits, the things that we did that no longer work, that are being uprooted. And sometimes that process can be very painful, and with that process comes this great revealing of all the things that we may not have paid attention to. How you talk, your mannerisms, the way that you sit, the way that you choose to present yourself in the world, the way that you choose to speak to people, the words that you use, the vibration you're at, everything starts to show itself, and everything is being mirrored. The vision that I'm getting right now is that there's someone standing in this room, and it's like this mirror room where there's mirrors everywhere, and all the mirrors are pointing and looking directly at this, not looking, but these mirrors are pointed right at this person or right at this individual. And every time they look around, they just see themselves in these other mirrors. And what this to me, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying this, what this means to me is that the universe right now has every single last eye on you, because you are the one that is meant to be in the forefront, because there's something about you that you need to see, so that when you go out into the world sees you too, but in the most uplifting, loving, and inspirational way. And so the things that are happening in your life right now are meant to be broken down, so that by the time you do reach this other side, whatever it may look like, you are ready, you are prepared, you are whole, you are healed, you are divine, you are in your actual natural essence. And that's also something that I do feel like is being uprooted from people's lives. So many things have changed since 2020, since 2019, to be honest with you, and maybe even before then for some people, but so many things have changed. And I do feel like with those changes, some people may have fallen away from themselves. And now the things that we may be getting ourselves into, these relationships, these jobs, for the sake of survival, for the sake of living, or for the sake of just getting by, these situationships, these things are no longer needed. These things, to be honest, we've never really needed to begin with, but we were coping the best way that we could. And Spirit is saying now is that I want you to see yourself, because you don't need to cope. Wingabo tribe, and for others of you, Oseo. So the reason why I'm coming back is because I wanted to give you guys a explanation about what I meant when Spirit stated that you don't have to cope. When I stated that you don't have to cope, it was not meant to diminish, suppress, exclude, or overpower anything that you guys have gone through in the past. It was not meant to diminish or make it seem as though your traumatic experiences, the things that you experienced back in your past, are unimportant, or that it's easy for you to just simply let it go. That's absolutely not what I meant. And so I wanted to clear up what I was saying. So it's not the fact that those things are not important, but Spirit is saying is that we don't have to be in a disempowered state. We can give ourselves permission to release these things, to allow these things to be where they are, to allow ourselves to move on from these things, so that we can experience the best life that we possibly can. Sometimes the things that we hold on to, or more often than not, when we hold on to those things, we end up carrying these things as like an invisible weight. And so we don't realize that we're carrying these things until it starts to get too heavy and it's too unbearable. And then that's when the coping gets a bit harder. It starts to become a lot more unbearable, a lot more impossible. So Spirit is saying is that we don't have to cope, meaning that we don't have to carry around these baggages. We don't have to carry around the things that keep weighing us down, and we have the choice to become empowered. We have the choice to say that we no longer want to experience these unfavorable things that are going on in our reality, and we have every right to stand up, to rise up, and to allow ourselves room to move, allow ourselves room to pivot, allow ourselves to command that these things remove itself from our life, and that we ourselves can banish, we can purge, we can allow these things and or make these things move out of our lives if it refuses to go. This also means people. It does not matter what it is, but the coping that we have gone through has gotten us this far. The coping that we have experienced is what keeps us in a way sane. And so it's not the fact that coping is the problem. Coping is not the issue. What it is when we allow ourselves to remain a slave or submissive or even subservient to the things that we feel keep us enslaved, and we don't have to be that way. So when Spirit says that we don't have to cope, it means that we don't have to be in situations that require us to cope. Right. And I do know that before people say, well, it's not as easy as it seems because I'm here in this space and it's not as easy. I 100% understand. And I am not here to take that away from you. I am not here to say that what you are experiencing is not real. I am not here to tell you that what you are experiencing right now is not a valid part of your experience. But what I am saying is that when we have had enough, we have had enough, and we will do what we can to get ourselves out of that situation. That is the reason why we have things like hoodoo. That is the reason why we have things like magic, because we understand that we are not going to allow anyone outside of us to be our oppressors. We are not going to allow ourselves to remain oppressed because of these situations that we believe we have no control over, which situations we don't have control over, but we can control what we do to get ourselves out of it in the best way that we can. Our guides are real. Our ancestors are real. I don't care what materialist scientists will say. They may not be able to measure. They may not be able to understand, articulate, or anything. They only know what it is that they know given their systems. They themselves have not sat in your experience. They found their way out through logic, through reason, through control. You yourself are being led out of these situations by divine feminine intelligence, by divine feminine energy, by your guides, by your ancestors, and by each and everything that we may not be able to fully understand. But we know that the energy is real, and we know that the energy is benevolent, because we will never allow ourselves to be led by false ideologies, by false gods, by whatever that means. I don't know why that's coming through. But maybe someone needs to hear that. So I wanted to just kind of give you guys that quick message, because I wanted to truly clear it up, because I don't want anyone to feel like them coping was the problem. It was not the problem. It was us remaining in situations that were disempowering, where we needed to cope to stay in those situations or to help us through those situations. We don't have to be disempowered. And that is what I meant. Okay. Thank you guys for understanding. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to go ahead and allow the next messages to come through. Don't worry about these cards down here. This was a reading that I was doing with my own ancestors and whatnot, and they were giving me information. That's what this is. This is more of a personal reading. So that's the reason why I wasn't, saying anything about what's going on out here. I love you guys, and I'll catch you in the next clip. If anything, Spirit is wanting to acknowledge what you are going through. Spirit is wanting to acknowledge the things that you may feel are hard to let go of. But Spirit is saying is that if you decided to just simply let go, to let these things be what they are, to allow yourself to immerse yourself into the love that your guides have for you, that Spirit has for you, that you have within yourself, that is when you'll see the healing, and you'll start to really make sense. And I say that because, of course, we do have oh, by the way, I have cards in front of me. That is when you'll start to see the truth of the matter. You'll start to see things truly for what they are. What I do also feel is like the fact that we have the Tower card here, the King of Cups, the Two of Cups, you have the Lovers, and you also do have the Ace of Swords. This is also pointing me to an energy where there's so many things that are changing, but you yourself, Spirit is wanting you to know that you are emotionally secure, carried, and loved. And I feel like there is an energy that may be around you that wants to connect with you, that sees the truth of who you are, that sees the choices that you make and wants to make better choices with you, because they love you, because they want to be in addition to your life, because they see that there are so many things that you're going through or that you have been through. They see the truth of what you need. They do see that you are coping right now. Remember earlier we talked about how Spirit said that you didn't need to cope. The reason why was because coping and doing the best that you can to cope means that although I don't have it all, although I feel like I don't have the things that I need, I'm coping the best way that I can, because with this energy of cope, there may be doubt and fear and this lack thereof. But Spirit is saying is that you don't have to cope with anything. And the reason is because you have everything provided for you. If you were to let yourself open up and flower and trust the softness. And I feel that that's something else that I feel like we're missing. The world is missing softness. It's missing this. It's missing spirit. It's missing this, not just jovial energy, but this energy that is just so soft, like petals, like the silk of a flower, like the silk of a rose petal. I'm feeling like there's this energy where we all really want to feel held. We want this divine partnership. We want to align with things that we know are true for ourselves. But sometimes it's hard to trust that, especially when there's so many things, again, that are breaking down, that are being destroyed, that are being disrupted. And Spirit is saying is that I want you to trust that this is all happening for a good reason. There's so many things in our lives that we just simply cannot change, and that is other people. But the only thing that we can change is our perception and us allowing ourselves to open up. But then how do you do that when every time you look around, you see destruction, you see havoc, you see pain, you see suffering? And I really do feel like Spirit is wanting us to know that it's really a matter of what we choose. And I feel like as long as we are choosing love, as long as we are choosing each other, as long as we are choosing to allow these things to happen, allow these things to play out, we will see the real reason why. Spirit is wanting you to be open. Also, I do feel like for some of you, you guys are going to be surprised when it comes to marriage, and you're going to be surprised when it comes to divine partnership. And there will be a 100% surprise when it comes to becoming in alignment with someone that wants to take care of you in the most spiritually healthy way. And also, I do feel like what we're missing in the world is this emotional security. I feel like the messages are kind of bouncing everywhere right now. So thank y'all for being patient. The way that my mind works, it just kind of bounces, but we're going to get back down. Anyway, so basically, yes, I really do feel like that's another thing that we're missing. It's this emotional security. I feel like the partnerships that do not support that emotional security, where you can provide the emotional security and you can receive the emotional security, where it can be reciprocal. If it is not being reciprocated, then Spirit is wanting you to let that go. Anything that is not serving you right now is going to leave your life. It is going to be destroyed, demolished, and put over there in another pile where you are not meant to go next to. Like, I don't even know what the words. I'm like, you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But seriously, I feel like Spirit is taking these ruins and these bricks, and it's being examined, and it's saying, well, this was the reason why, this was the cause. And I feel like you'll receive that clarity when you meditate. You'll receive the clarity when you're maybe taking a shower. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm taking a shower and I'm wiping and I'm washing off the gunk of the day and I'm washing off the energy of the day, I receive clarity when I'm in the shower, because first and foremost, the shower is my space where I'm baptizing myself, right? I'm baptizing myself. I'm setting my intention. I'm getting rid of that energy, right? And I'm allowing myself to become cleansed. And when I am cleansed, I receive so many downloads. It is so amazing. So maybe you are someone who also receives clarity and downloads when you're showering. Also, speaking of water, I do feel like you may want to spend time around water, around bodies of water, but also what I'm hearing Spirit say is to get your feet wet, to soak your feet, but also ensure that when you are at these rivers or these lakes or whatever it may be, that when you're around these bodies of water, Spirit is asking for you to wear white. And the reason is because there's essence of you that needs to be pure, that needs to be cleansed and cleaned. I'm seeing you marry something. I'm seeing you marry someone. I'm seeing you become, this is covenant. I'm hearing the word covenant. It's like you're becoming in covenant with something or someone. And the reason is because this was long awaited. Some of you guys have went through ruins. You may have had a relationship that just simply didn't work out. You spent years and years and years, maybe half your life. Maybe I'm being exaggerative, but you spent like half your life or a good chunk of your life with this person, but the relationship was over years ago. And you know that there's someone else out there for you, and you've been setting your intention even while with this person. You are not wrong for doing that. And the reason why is because it does not take for you to be alone to know what is for you. Right? You can know who is for you and what is for you while you're in that relationship. Sometimes we stay because we're waiting on the when, we're waiting on the how, we're waiting on the why. But Spirit is saying is that the why will come later. Trust in what is happening. Trust the destruction. Trust and know that the very thing that is being destroyed, you are meant to come out of that cave before it caves in on you. I don't want to sound too gruesome, but what I'm seeing is that, and what I'm hearing is that if you don't move out of this cave, you will be stoned. And it's just a matter of the foundation foundation just simply not being secure, but also this disruption that is going on within this cave. I don't know why I'm being brought to like a cave, or why I keep seeing like a tumbling down of something inside of a cave. I don't know why. Make sure that if you're going hiking, if that you're entering cave, that you make sure that you have respect wherever you're going. Make sure that you are respecting the spirits and the energies that are there, because you don't want to come into a space disrespectful and then some shit just hits the fan, because energy is very real and we know that. But anyway, so spirit is saying is that it wants you out of this cave before the rocks all fall, because it doesn't want you to be stoned. And I do feel like the very things again that are being demolished are because it's meant to, or you are meant to be in a space where everything starts to become rebuilt. And I really do feel that again, you guys are in a space where you are about to be in matrimony with something or someone. It's this long awaited energy. It's energy where I'm saying yes, or spirit is saying, say yes to this if you wish to be happy and fulfilled, because there's something within this dynamic that can help to unlock a different version of you, the best version of you. And so everything else has to be demolished and destroyed for you to experience this, because without this, right, without this crumbling, you would still be here. Without this unfortunate series of events, without this traumatic experience, or without this thing that happened in your life, without these ruins, you would have stayed. And I feel that so deep within my spirit. Like, I'm not trying to say that that's what you get or this had to happen, but what I am saying is that for some of you, you have such a strong will and you do not know when to quit, and you will keep fighting until it destroys you. And spirit is saying no. I will ruin this aspect because you asked me for better. I will take that and I will ruin this before I let you destroy yourself. And that's why these things had to die. That's why these things had to be destroyed, because at the end of the day, it is you that I love. It is you that I care about. And because you have good intentions, I'm going to take care of you. But first, I must destroy this. You will never be able to come back here, because I know that you set your intention for better, and you have to be okay with that. Spirit is wanting you to let go of whatever this is that you are holding on to, because it is making you sick. It is making your body sick. It is putting your body in a state of dis-ease. We have to let this go. I'm working on it myself, right? Like, I'm not at the most ideal weight, right? Like, I'm not at the weight that I want to be at, right? And I know that for me, like, I have PCOS, and so I'm getting myself out of that. So there are some things that I'm also letting go of too. And there are also some things that I'm working on because I have a path that I want to express to the world. But I'm putting myself in your shoes, and I'm letting you know that this is real. We are going through it, and I'm going through it with you, and I'm learning, I'm pacing, and damn it, we're doing it, and we're doing it together. And so I want you to know that there are things in my life that are also happening now that are being destroyed, but I am trusting that process, because without that destruction, I cannot grow. And I am just like you. I do not know when to give up the fight. I do not know. I am a warrior at heart. Like, I am a warrior at heart. I have a Sag moon in sidereal astrology. I've got 9 planets in the 9th house in the sign of Sagittarius, right? I got a fire moon because of that Scorpionic moon in my sidereal 8th. Well, I think it's in 7. I don't know, but it's in Scorpio. And my tropical astrology chart, I've got a Sag moon, right? 9th house stellium in the sign of Capricorn. Y'all, I don't know when to fucking give up, but I'm also learning, and I have learned a really hard lesson when it comes to allowing things to be. Spirit is wanting you to take the lesson from me, let it be. Because something better is coming. Something better is here. Something better sees you. You may have been getting visions of like dragons or serpents, or like these watery reptiles and things like that. Or you may have the dragon as like a totem, or like an animal totem, or you may be really drawn to this like primordial instinct, or like this primordial serpent like energy. You may have been seeing those recently, and the reason is because these energies have all the medicine, the antidote, and the wisdom that you need to transform your life. And that is exactly what is happening now. The fact that you again have these here, I really do feel like this is the energy that wants to be here, that wants to take care of you, that wants to align, that sees you, right? This energy sees you. It sees itself within you. Spirit sees itself within you. So who better to have this than you? right? And I really do want to say here is that I want you to have the utmost love and compassion. Invite your guides into your space. Allow your space to be cleansed and free. Even if you have to take a day off from work and just clean, right? Clean up your apothecary if you have one. Clean your, well, I have an ETHERIUM, but clean your apothecary, your office space, right? Your room, right? Get that laundry off the bed. You know, it may be sitting at the foot of your bed right now, or it may still be in the laundry basket. Fold it up, right? Spray some nice smelling stuff around your room. Maybe you want to spray some Florida water cologne around your room, or, you know, just uplift the vibes. Add water into your space. Put a cup or a bowl of water with crystals in it under your bed, right? Keep the energy clear. Keep the energy protected, right? Those are different things that you can do to help the energy around you stay clean and clear and under control. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. So yes, I really want you guys to just trust what's happening right now. Trust what spirit is doing in your life. Trust that spirit really is you. Spirit is your breath. When you connect to your breath, you connect to yourself. And I don't know about y'all, but I believe that God is source. I believe that God is feminine, but I also most importantly believe that we are God in its multiplicity and its omnipotence. And I really do believe that it is really us that is changing our lives. And that's just my own belief. I'm not going to stop you from believing what you believe, right? I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. I'm just saying that for me, I believe that we all stem from this one source, and that when we call upon this source, we are truly calling upon our own power. We're just tapping into the depth and the strength of our minds, right? Anyway, so I rambled kind of during this during this whole video, I think. I don't know. But I'm hoping that you got what you needed. I'm hoping that you received the messages that you needed in the moment. I'm hoping that you receive the comfort that you need, or that you may have needed. And yes, so I'm actually getting ready to go because I gotta take this makeup off. I gotta wash my face, honey, because I'm ready to go to bed, and I want to shower. I want to brush my teeth. Like, I want to get all of that stuff done. So yes, I am so excited for you, for this new chapter, for this new marriage, for this new covenant. I'm excited for you. I'm glad that these things are breaking down in your life, not because I'm happy that you're suffering, and I'm hoping that you're not suffering, by the way. But I'm happy that whatever this is that it's leading you to the best version of yourself that you could possibly be in human form. And I'm so glad that you are deciding to continue along this path and this journey with me, because you are 100% on a path of remembrance. And I'm so excited that you are choosing to hold my hand as we pace along the path of remembrance. And I want you to remember, your intuition will always lead you to the right reasoning, and as remembered, so embodied. I'll talk to y'all later.